Hi ladies, this is Angelica. I want to welcome you to my Facebook page and all of my social media spaces. I am very excited to have you here. And I just wanted to share a couple of things with you today. I have been running into so many women in the corporate sector who are feeling this pulling on their heartstrings, if you will, and these pangs in their hearts to come home and to raise their children and to be there for their families. I'm finding many women that are very much desiring to be homemakers. They're looking to come out of the corporate sector and to become a homemaker. And I just wanted to share my sincere appreciation for your desire. I've been feeling that tug on my heart since the end of 2011. And it hasn't gone anywhere. And so I am on this journey to figure out how to become a homemaker and how to make that happen for my family, because I believe that that is where God is positioning me and positioning many of you. So today I just wanted to give you 3 things that I know that you're probably experiencing, and to help you kind of navigate through those waters. Number 1, the very first thing that you're probably thinking about and considering is the sacrifice, because the reality of it is that if you come home, whether you come home for just a few years with your children until they're school age and they're off to school, or you decide to come home indefinitely, you are going to sacrifice some of your career that you have probably gone to school for and worked really hard for. I do have an advanced degree. My background is in engineering. I have a bachelor's degree in engineering. I have a master's degree in engineering. I also have some doctoral studies in education. I'm currently an educator. And so coming home would certainly mean that I would have to sacrifice some of that. In addition, you're probably going to have to sacrifice some luxuries. More than likely, your families and your household budget is reliant upon the income that you bring in. And so then you'd be going from a 2-income household to a 1-income household. And so some of those luxury items, you're probably thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to give those things up. Yeah, you probably will. But do know that it's temporary. It's not forever. It's temporary, and it may mean, pulling back on some of the things that you really want to have, the big house, the big car, the big lifestyle, and, ridding yourself of some of those things so that you can do the honorable thing and the thing that you're just feeling that tug at your heart, which is come home and raise your kids and to become a homemaker. The second thing I know that you're probably thinking about is the commitment. Like, oh my gosh, I've not been home with my kids that much. And so this commitment is going to be huge. But what I want to say to you is that the commitment is worth it. I have the pleasure of having a Titus 2 mentors in my life that are speaking into my life and telling me about all of these things. And they have walked the path where I'm trying to get to. They were homemakers. And I've seen the reward of their sacrifice, and I've seen the reward of their commitment. The third thing that you're probably going to face are some misunderstandings from family and friends. And they're probably all well-meaning. The civil rights movement and women's lib allowed, women in general to just be able to do things that, women before us couldn't do. We were able to get careers and, become astronauts and engineers and lawyers and doctors and all of these great, wonderful things. But once you make that sacrifice, and you're telling your family and friends, I'm looking to come home and be a homemaker, they're probably going to give you the side eye, like, what's wrong with her? Is she coming back now to the 50s and 60s? Is she trying to be a Stepford wife? And they're going to tell you, you have all this education. I don't understand why you would want to come home. And so trying to explain that to family and friends is going to be difficult at times, and maybe even coworkers. I know for me, the women in my family worked. My mother worked, my grandmother worked, my great-grandmother worked, and my great-great-grandmother was a slave, so she worked. And so the women in my family, they just worked. And that's just, kind of what was passed down to us. I know many of us, if you were a smart young lady in school, they probably pushed you to go get a degree and, be everything and be all, and that's all fine and well, and there's a season. But one thing one of my mentors told me was that to everything there's a season, and there's a season for you to give birth, and there's a season to where you can no longer give birth. And, you know, when you have the opportunity to stay home with your kids, seize that moment, go after that moment. And God is definitely pulling at your heartstrings for a reason. He really is. And so I'm very excited to be on this journey with you guys. I want you to know that I'm praying for you, that I'm with you like 3,000%, and we're going to get there. We are. Some of you guys, as you're coming home, it may be an easy, smooth transition. For some of you all, you're going to be looking at ways, well, how can I maybe work part-time from home? Or how can I, start my own business and use the skills and talents that I have right now to start my own business? And so we're going to be looking at all of those options and helping you to decide the option that's best for you and your family. But do know that those pullings and tuggings at your heartstrings, they're real and they're of God, and, don't feel bad about them at all. Just hold your head up high and continue to pray. Stay connected to my Facebook page because next week, I'm going to be talking about the conversation. That conversation that you are probably going to have with your husband about this desire, this unction that you're getting, and how do you have that conversation with him, and how to move forward after you've had that conversation. So make sure that you stay tuned next week. I'd love to hear back from you. If you're on my Facebook or my Twitter or follow me on Instagram, I'd love to hear back from you, and just comment below. Let me know, what you're feeling, what's going on in your minds, what's going on in your brains, so I can hopefully get some question answered, and we can really begin to develop a community of women that are looking to leave corporate and make that transition from corporate to homemaker. Okay? So I'll see you guys next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.